rock stars, what's going on? SE Rocks here with you once again for another episode of Dudes, Drinks, and Discussion 3D, aka 3D. Joined once again by my co-host, Xan the Plant Man. What's going on, Xander?
Oh, it's a beautiful day. It snowed a couple inches outside. It's a little cold, but I'm okay. I got my Got Bacon t-shirt on today, so it's a lovely day. Yeah. How about yourself?
It's been a rough week, man, but maybe we'll get into that during the podcast. It's been pretty rough. But yeah, we didn't get any snow out this way, so we got kind of lucky.
Really?
No snow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you guys had like school closings and stuff down south a little ways, I see.
They were predicting a lot more. Like I know when they first said, yeah, we got this huge storm coming, they were like, hey, we're going to get like 8, 10, 12 inches. I think we ended up with like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. So there is snow on the ground, but it's nothing.
That's what
crazy.
They said all this winter, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, massive storm coming, and then you get like 2 inches or whatever.
Or like it's melted by the next day. Like
Yeah,
I think,
right.
yeah, last time we had like 5 or 6 inches the next morning. I'm like, where is it?
Right.
It was just here. I just plowed it yesterday. I just shoveled my, and it's gone already. Like, well, I could have just waited for it to melt and we would have been fine.
Right. Exercise is good for you, though.
And
sure. I'm not going to complain about the lack of snow and cold weather. We really haven't had that much cold weather yet this winter.
No, thankfully it hasn't been awful. When it does snow, it's kind of, but like,
Yeah.
it could be worse.
Yeah, so let's stop talking about the weather and talk about what we're drinking on, Xander.
Oh, what are you drinking on there, SE Rocks?
Well, Xander, I bet you can't guess.
Oh, man, I have an idea, but I'm not sure.
I have a Zevia 0-calorie soda, 0 sugar, caffeine-free ginger ale, naturally flavored, buddy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I happen to have a Zevia 0-calorie soda. No sugar, no artificial sweeteners. Mountain Zevia flavor.
Nice. How is that Mountain Zevia flavor?
Wait for it. Gotta steal it from you. There's your gimmick.
Wonderful, yes.
It's quite good. It's a lot better cold.
Yeah.
The first one I had, I think I took it right off the 6-pack off the shelf and I drank it, and it was warm. It was that lukewarm temperature,
Yeah, you like those lukewarm temperatures.
Yeah, definitely a lot better once it's been in the refrigerator for a couple days. It's quite wonderful. Tastes very similar to Mountain Dew. Not exactly the same. Like, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
Good.
If I do say so myself.
I'm not a huge fan of the ginger ale, but it's all I had left, so that's what we're drinking on. Also have a nice little mug of coffee here. I'll be sipping on some coffee. I'm
sipping on that coffee.
Yeah, the coffee with some sugar.
Yeah. I like me some sugar.
Yeah, it's been a rough week, so we're drinking on some coffee, trying to stay awake till like 2 in the afternoon or whatever we got going on here.
Woohoo! Some Fortnite.
Yeah, woo! Yeah, so today I guess we're going to jump around a little bit. We're going to start off talking about escape rooms because old SE Rocks and Xan the Plant Man visited one here a couple weeks ago together, along with Dreasaurus and Lil Dre. We'll talk about that. Definitely a good time. And then we'll probably talk a little wrestling, maybe a little life. We'll toss the ball around, so to say. So, yeah, the escape room, Xander. What did you think of that?
Going into the place, I was kind of scared for my life a little bit because like the building itself was like this abandoned building.
Yeah.
And like it looks really sketchy, and I'm like, this is the place, right? Like, are we sure it's not this nicely renovated building next door? No, it's this one. All right, cool.
With the boarded up windows and
you got to go in first. Wait, I have to go first? What? I don't want to open the door. Nope. And then you go down the stairs, and it's like, oh, this is nice.
Yeah, it was really shady. Like the parking lot was like all fenced off, and the windows were boarded up. And I think Drea said that they did the haunted house there.
Yeah, I think I googled when I was like googling the place. Something popped up for a haunted house as that address.
Yeah.
So it must be like maybe that's upstairs or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because when you go in, like as you go to the bathroom or whatever, the bathrooms are off to the side. It looks like it's set up for a haunted house. There's like,
oh my god, that was the most terrifying hallway to a bathroom I have ever.
Right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was definitely maze-alicious. Coin that terrible.
All the curtains and things, and like it was dark and spooky, and like it was like a boiler room out of like,
yeah, the whole like the initial experience of like, okay, pulling into this fenced off parking lot, boarded windows, and then you got to go, open this big, massive steel door, and then there's a sign saying you got to go downstairs. Like, it definitely gives you like a creepy aspect, which I guess kind of is cool and plays into the whole escape room feeling, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely fit with the theme of like, because the escape rooms, I think they said all of them, the themes were pretty spooky. I think except like they have one family-based one, but
yeah, there was
other than that, it was like really spooky and that. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it was really nice once you got down there. They had a nice little setup of their their seating, and the owner greets you, and he was very polite, and everybody had to use the bathroom but me, so he talked to me for a little while.
Yeah, because you went to the bathroom at the previous place before we got there.
Yeah, SE Rocks pees a lot.
You know what happens,
song.
yeah.
Make spilled paints. There you go. Drop that. But yeah,
it's better
really
than
nice.
the Baby Shark song.
Yeah, it would be better than Baby Shark song.
I will say too, like this has nothing to do with anything, but like when we went in the door and down the stairs, it reminded me of the Airbnb we stayed at in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Where we went in the door and then down the stairs.
Right.
And there's a couch. Like, I was like, oh, is this an Airbnb? No, it's the escape room. Like, wow.
The Airbnb where everybody was gonna leave me just to die and then drive off. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, good times, you know.
Yeah. Friendship. Yeah, just let him go check it out, and then if he gets hacked into pieces, leave him there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But the actual escape room, we did the what was it called? It was Murder's Letter or something to that effect, I believe. Murder's Misery. I don't know. It was supposedly like the scarier one, which is what it said online, but I guess the other room potentially was more spooky by what he was saying afterwards, so I'm not really sure if I misread or...
The Killer's Promise. Just looked it up.
That's it. Good job. Yeah, we were way the fuck off.
They also have the N Virus and Bad Moon Rising, which is the one he suggested for us to do next time, was Bad Moon Rising, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they had the Killer's Promise. They had the normal version and then the extra spooky version where the killer actually comes into the room, and I was like, hell no.
See, I would have loved that. I think we should have done that because we were with 4 people that we had no prior knowledge of. We'd never met before. They were in our 8-person group, and I think they said they wanted to do that one.
Yeah.
And like I totally would have if they would have asked, but I after being in the room with them, I don't think they could have handled it because after the one jump scare, like
I lost my shit.
Yeah,
I
think like
God.
4 people out of the 8 pissed themselves, I think.
And like I'm not even the one that I wasn't even paying attention to when they opened the thing. I heard a scream and I looked out of the corner of my eye and I saw a dude with a knife running by and I'm like, "Oh shit." Like, and then like when we moved on to the next room, I was like, "I'm not going back to that previous room. There could be somebody in there." Like, no thanks. But.
Yeah, so you guys out there that aren't like really familiar with an escape room, obviously you're in a room or more than one room and your goal is to try to escape via puzzles, riddles, things of that nature. This one was my first one ever, so I don't have a lot to go off of, but I had a really good time until like the very end. We'll touch on that in a few minutes, but I was the one who opened the medicine cabinet, so I guess seen the guy first, but I was at an angle where like I pulled it open so I didn't really see it, and there was a person standing over my shoulder, and that's when they lost their shit. So then like I ripped it all the way open, and then he scared me.
Oh no.
It was just his head with a knife bulging through this medicine cabinet.
I was just because that was like the I guess technically the second room by that point.
Third,
but like I was like second or third. Yeah, it was early on still, and I was like, oh my God, like if we're just getting started. And like, there's already been one jump scare, and we didn't pay for like the extra scare. Like, I'm gonna go stand over here in the corner. I'll just,
if you guys need my help, just give me the clue.
I'll be over here. Yeah. Then they were like, look through this hole in the wall, and there's numbers on the wall. I'm like, I'm not looking through there. There could be someone on the other side of that wall too. Like, no thanks.
Somebody's head will pop out. No way, you do it.
And then like, I'm the tall one, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm the only one that can see through it. God damn it.
All right.
And then everything was fine.
Yeah, it was good times. But as far as escape rooms go, like I've heard of them before. I've seen, I think Mackinac Island, not Mackinac City, has like a small one. I've seen it before. I've wanted to do it. I'm really cheap, which I've said that before on this podcast. So for me to drop that much money on a one-time thing, it's hard to do because I'd be poor. But like it was a spur of the moment thing. We were talking. I was like, hey, let's do an escape room. Everybody agreed. So we dropped the money to go see it. So basically, they range from like $20 to $25 or whatever for a 60-minute experience. You go in, there's puzzles, there's riddles, there's depending on like which theme you choose. Like ours was a killer's promise, so we had to escape the killer before he,
killed us.
Killed us. And the clues and riddles and things were fun. If I had to nitpick, and like I said, this is my first one. I'll let you go into like other ones you've done and what they consisted of. But I feel like this one had almost too many just locks. Like everything was locked up. There weren't really many like riddles or codes to decode. You had to decode or solve a riddle to do the lock boxes, but there was so many locks. There must have been probably seven different things.
There's always a lot of locks to get, like, oh, you need this key to unlock this. Well, you have to figure out this riddle to unlock this thing to get this key to then go back to do this thing. And
right, yeah.
It's always the theme of, like, it's not just, oh, here's the key to get into the room. It's now you got to find the key, you got to find the clue to get the key to...
And I think
that's always a common theme,
like, in a scenario, I think, like, I love riddles. So, like, I think having a riddle that directs you in the direction to find, a key or whatever you need to open something that's not locked up, like, just give me a riddle that says, like, blah, 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 up, left, I have to figure it out, and then, like, have it sitting on a window ledge or something. Just have it there so not everything is, a lockbox, if that makes sense. Just, like, that became really repetitious, so it was... That's really my only negative thing about this escape room, and then the whole praying hands thing at the end, I'm pretty sure we got hosed on.
That pissed me off. Yeah,
I totally forgot about that when I like reviewed the place, but that was definitely... I think there was something wrong with it. I mean, I think every one of us tried to put the hands on it.
Right. If it's just a magnet supposed to line up with this thing, like, I don't know if maybe it was some of the wiring under the magnet maybe fell off, or maybe someone else tugged on it or something, or maybe the magnets just didn't work, or I don't know, because I don't know even at the end when that door opened if it was from the magnet or if it was like the guy on the other side of the door just popped it open for us because they saw we obviously had it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was definitely...
We're sitting there, is it this way? Is it this way?
Yeah, and we did like, I mean, we're pushing the magnets together and the hands, and it was literally like 5 or 6 minutes, which took away from us actually being able to solve the last riddle. So
yeah, we were on the last clue when time ran out for sure.
So that was
incredibly
kind of
upsetting.
What was that?
It was incredibly upsetting, for sure. I do think, as far as all the other escape rooms I've done, I want to say this one was the longest in terms of, like, at most, sound off, at most, I would have, like, one room you start, then you go to, like, a second room, maybe a third room.
Right.
But I think altogether we had, like 5 or 6?
Yeah, there was the first room we had to get
That first one
through,
we had to get in.
And then, like, the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And the hallway led to, like, the bathroom. And then there was the room with the girl on the table, and I don't know if you consider that other room that had the actual pray hands. Was that a separate room? I guess it kind of could be. That was all one big room, but yeah, I would almost consider that a separate room because, like, we did everything in that first part. Yeah.
With the girl on the table, and then we went on to the next room, and the praying hands had the dude sitting on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, so
it was 4
or 5 rooms. So I mean, it was pretty big. It was, and from like what I've researched, most are like 1, 2, maybe 3 rooms, like you said. So it was definitely big. Do you feel that like you get your money's worth when you go to an escape room? I mean, because you've been to a few.
I definitely, obviously, I feel like I get my money's worth a lot more the further you get into the room.
Right, yep.
Like, it sucks if it's a 5 or 6 room thing and you spend an hour in one room and, well, you still paid the $25 for the full experience, and you only... Like, it'd be nice if there was a way to pay based on how well you did.
Right.
I guess, like, if you get out of the room, you pay the full $25 because you saw everything.
Right.
But it's like, if you only get past the first clue, like, I'm only going to pay like $5 because I didn't get the full experience. Maybe I can go back again and then try to complete it or something.
If you only make it to the first room, are you more keen to spend the money again to try to get further, or are you more discouraged because you spent that money and didn't get very far? So, like, your idea might actually be, a good idea. Like, okay, well, if you don't make it past the first room, you only spend $10, or even if you only make it past the first room, like, here's a voucher or something for your next time,
Oh, that'd be cool. A voucher to come back and try again kind of thing to get it cheaper the second time?
For discounted or whatever. So, yeah, that's a cool idea. It's, and like I've said before, I was always iffy on doing it just because $25 for an hour seems like a lot, but when you take into account some of the other stupid shit we spend our money on or whatever and don't get... Because it's a hands-on experience. There's not a lot of things out there like that where you can, go be entertained with your friends or whatever, and it's hands-on. and you have to use your mind. Like that was the big thing, is that you had to be thinking the whole time. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Right, and the more you do, the more you kind of know what to look for. Like when you're in that first room and you see like, okay, here's Roman numerals on the wall, and you're like, what's
Right.
that? As opposed to like if you've done like 5 or 6 escape rooms and you're like, well, that's 4 different numbers. That's going to be a lock. We need to find a 4-digit lock somewhere. And
Right.
definitely the more you do, the more you know what to look for. And
Yeah,
it's
and I think
interesting, yeah.
the fact that there's different variations of escape rooms, it keeps it fresh. So like, okay, we checked out that Killer's Promise, so next time, we'll go check out the Bad Moon, and it, is it going to be super different? I don't know. Like, let's go find out. So there's like, it wants you coming back. I mean, if you're into that thing, like I'm into horror movies and stuff, so like the Killer's Promise caught my eye first. I was like, oh man, this is going to be cool. So it definitely keeps you coming back if there's new themes and like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's definitely a struggle with escape rooms. Is like the idea of the escape room is cool, but like you can kind of like if you have a place and you have like your 3 rooms or whatever, it's eventually gonna get to a point where every single person has done all of the escape rooms that you have to offer.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like up front, like when you first come out with it, like the money's there, you're gonna make money off the escape room, but then like after so long, it's like if you don't keep making new rooms, it's going to get stale, and that's going to cost a lot of money. And then do you recycle old rooms that aren't doing so well, or do you just keep adding more rooms
Right. Yep.
to the existing ones?
Well, that's when the gentleman, the owner, was talking to me when you guys were using the restroom. He had told me about 3, I think it was 3 rooms that he has either started or he's going to start, and they were pretty interesting. They were like Universal monsters. He was going to do a vampire room, a Frankenstein room, and I think there was one other one. So, and like your options are endless when it comes to that, because there's so many different scenarios. I mean, you can be trapped in a room anywhere doing anything. Like I've seen, because I've been doing a little research on them now. There's like classroom escape rooms, which would not be my thing, but for like if you're going to go with your kids, or if you're going for like a work, like a work gathering or whatever, and you want to go do an escape room, like those would be cool. And then there's like it seems like every place has like either a laboratory one or like an alien one.
Oh yeah, the alien ones are popular. I did an alien one once. He had an alien sitting on the table, and it was like, oh, there he is, and like that was, hey, it's an alien room.
Did you have to like dissect it or anything, or like
No, it was just sitting on the table. Yeah, it was kind of a letdown. That was kind of the one I was bummed out with. Was like, oh, cool, we're gonna like dissect an alien or something, but like there was an alien sitting on the table, and that was it. We didn't do anything to the alien or touch it. Well, we touched the alien to try to figure out if we could do anything with the alien, but like the alien had served no purpose, and it's kind of like it's nice like for the one that we did, like not just to have a theme of like, there's a killer, like even though the killer wasn't in the room with us, obviously like the presence was still felt the whole time.
Yeah.
And like we were immersed in like his lair, and
yeah, and that's what's cool about it
spooky,
is like I said, I think I said it, it's an immersive experience. Like you put yourself in that scenario, and you're like you're part of it. So it's almost like the Killer's Promise one that we did. It's it's almost like you're part of like a horror movie, like a slasher, like you're trying to get free of this killer. So that's cool. It's something that like you're not going to get that from going to watch a movie or going bowling or anything like that.
Yeah, I think so. My first experience with the escape room, obviously that was your first one.
Yeah.
We went. My roommate in college was like telling me about it because they were just becoming a thing, and I was like, oh, I'm not smart.
Right.
And we went to this one in Midland, and it was the premise of the escape room that we did. It was like you're on a pirate ship, and it's really cool. Like so, kind of like how the one that you did, how with the hands on the table thing with the magnets. This one used a lot of technology to where it was like they had a lot of wiring and stuff like in the walls, and like you had to hold something up to the wall to make this open, or you had to. And like I really like those ones a lot more, like because there's some that use the technology with the magnets, and then there are some that are just strictly lock and key, and like that's it.
Right.
But I definitely think you get much better experience out of like when there is technology in the room, because we had to like I forget what we had to do, but we did something that like opened up a treasure chest in the pirate ship, which gave us like the last clue, and it was like turn the boat south, and you're physically like on this pirate ship, and you have to turn the boat around to then escape the room. And
right.
it was a really neat experience. And then from there, my roommate was like obsessed with escape rooms, and then we did like a whole crap load of different ones. And sometimes the clue master is in the room with you, giving you the clues. So like if you ask them like, hey, we need help, they will like kind of walk over and like, let me give you a clue. And like I don't like when they're in the room with you so much.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I'd like that. I liked the way that they did it in the one we were doing.
Yeah, where it's like there's most of the ones I've done, except for I think maybe one or two, it's just been the monitor with the timer and the clues will pop up on the screen. And
right.
And then also every once in a while, so we've done a couple escape rooms where like, okay, it's up to 10 people, whatever. You can sign up with your 4 people and like nobody else can sign up with you. And then there's the one like how we did where if 4 more people want to join, these 4 people that already have it signed up,
right,
so be it. And like I feel like I kind of like it better when I'm only in the room with people that I know, but it definitely does help to have extra hands in the room whether I know these people or not.
Right.
Because it's like if it's me and 2 other people, okay, well the 3 of us aren't going to be able to figure it out, but if there's a room of 8 of us in there, we can we at least have a few more ideas or a few more hands on trying to open things. And
I thought I was going to be more bothered than I was by being in there with people I didn't know because, you know me, people. But it didn't really bother me too much. It was all right. It was nice to,
No, they seemed like a cool group of people.
Yeah, for sure. And the reason why I didn't book it for just us was, A, I think they had booked it before us, and B, it's like $25 or $29 more, and like I said, I was cheap, so I wasn't going to spend the extra money for us just to do it.
No,
so,
yeah. Like, if we got 4 more people in the room, cool. They can help us get out of the room, too. And, like, that's, it's all part of the experience. And they seemed cool, and it was a nice time. And
and
I'm trying to think of how many escape rooms
toilet and
yes, and then they gave us a glove afterwards.
Yeah.
In the last room, hey, here's a glove for that toilet that you already stuck your hand in.
Yeah, like 2 rooms over and like 5 locks later, I open up a toolbox that has a glove and using the clue from the turd that I had grabbed like 20 minutes earlier with my bare hands. Like, yeah, thanks,
I'm almost wondering if they like did that on purpose.
They
like
had
maybe if the glove was done for something else, or if it was an accidental, like, oh shit, we didn't put the glove in the right spot. Or
I'm pretty sure that they
because that's always a tough thing too. Is like when you're setting up the escape room, like the person that puts everything together has to know where everything is supposed to go.
Right. Yeah.
Or else it's not going to make sense. Like if the person setting up the room puts a key in the wrong spot, or something's messed up, or like if the magnets don't line up right on the hands thing,
right,
it could screw up the experience for the people that paid the money to go in.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. What year did you go to college? Because you said you did it when you went to college.
Let's see, it was 2013 to 2017 is when I graduated.
Okay, because like I said, I've been doing a little research. It looks like the origin of the escape room came about in 2007.
Oh wow, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, from a Japanese company called Scrap, all capitals. I don't really know, but they based it off like video games because VR video games in that era, I guess, were kind of immersive. So they took that idea and then made it like real life. Like why experience it in 3D with a mask on when you can do 3D in real life?
Speaking of 3D,
3D. Look at that,
dude. Strengths discussion.
Yeah.
But no, it's where was I gonna go with that? Wow. Okay, I had a thought there and I just lost it.
I think you were talking about like
cool.
How many you've done or something.
Oh yeah, so we did a bunch of them, and my roommate is like obsessed with them. So like he always wanted to go, so he was always like, and I would always be like, well, I don't want to spend the money on all these escape rooms, but he wanted to keep going and doing all these different escape rooms. So he would just start shelling out, and he would just pay the money for everybody because he's the one that wants to do them.
Oh
I'm
shit,
like,
hell
right,
yeah,
well,
that's what I need. I need somebody to do that, dude. I'll go all the time.
But like he started because he's going into teaching. Like he teaches at a school now, and he's trying to like
God bless your soul.
Sorry, I know, right? It's But he's been trying to like incorporate escape rooms like in the classroom and stuff into his lesson plans. Where like if he's teaching a book or something, he'll do an escape room based on the themes of the book that they're reading.
Oh, that's cool.
And like it's kind of neat because like obviously he likes escape rooms,
right?
Like,
well, yeah,
but, like,
that
it's
makes
a neat
your job
way to
fun too.
Oh yeah, it's a neat way to then like learning the material of the book, because obviously if the escape room is based on the book, then it definitely helps learn, and it's kind of a more fun, immersive experience if it's done correctly. And I think there's an escape room board game.
Yeah,
we have. I think we tried it one time, and it's a lot harder to do a board game for an escape room than like being in an escape room, because like it's so much smaller. So you get like one lock, and like, well, you did it.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't seem like much fun.
I've definitely I always like seeing online, and I always want to go to these. Like I'll see escape rooms like based on like movies and stuff, and I've seen like, oh, there's a Harry Potter escape room like in Wisconsin somewhere or something like that, and it's like, oh, let's fucking go because like that sounds cool or whatever. But it's like that's a long drive.
Well, you know who's gonna be in Wisconsin?
Hey, speaking of Wisconsin,
S.E. Rox is going to Midwest Gaming Classic, and he was looking up escape rooms in Wisconsin. How about that?
I don't know if it was actually in Wisconsin or not. I just made that part.
Yeah, I know you did, but it just played.
That was a shameless segue to, hey, Midwest Gaming Classic.
Right.
What? And awkward silence.
Well, how many have you went to? How many?
I'm trying to remember, because I know, let's see, the place with the pirate ship, they had a second one, so we did that second one. The one we went to, they had 3, so that's 5.
Oh, shit.
6, I've done like probably around 10, I would say, around the ballpark. If there was one that we did, we like it seemed like there was a lot in there, but we finished the room in like 20 minutes.
Oh, really?
And the lady was like at the door like, wow, you guys are done? Like,
right.
And by this point we've already done like 7 or 8 of them, so it's kind of like by this point like we know what to look for. And I feel like that escape room we finished in 20 minutes was more designed for, this is my first time in an escape room,
right,
where like maybe the clues were a little more obvious for like the person that wouldn't know what to look for.
Right.
Because sometimes they're really tricky. Like sometimes it's like, okay, well, here's a 4 code or a 4 numbered lock, and here's a clue that's only 3 numbers, so it's like, well, it's obviously not that one. And
right,
sometimes it is, and you just got to throw a 0 in there, and oh wow, it worked. Like what? Like that's not.
That's kind of how that license plate one was in the one we did. That was
Yeah.
frustrating because there was so many license plates, and you had to figure out which number you were using for which lock.
It was like the 5th number on this one and
Yeah.
the 4th number on this one related to this state. And, like, it was a neat clue, but it definitely took a really long time for just one clue, which
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of the point.
Yeah, for sure.
Get you immersed. I'm pretty sure we've only not finished, maybe, obviously the one that we didn't finish.
Mhm.
I think with them, we only didn't finish one or two. Because he's really good at figuring out the clues.
Right.
I still like, there was one that we did. We were on the last clue, and I just went into the room, and I was like, okay, cool, this is the last clue before we get out of here. And they're still trying to figure out what the last clue is. And some of the locks I've noticed, if you kind of tug on it while you're switching the numbers, it budges a little bit when you're on the right number.
So you're a cheater.
Just one time.
No, we'll segue into cheating on games here in a few minutes.
We'll get there in a second, yeah. But like, so I would tug on it, and I figured out, okay, like that's the number there. All right, try the next one, and I actually got it open, and we won. And my roommate, he goes like, "What was it?" I'm like, "I don't know." I just tugged on the lock, and I got the number right, and we got out of the room. You're welcome. Hey,
yeah,
thanks,
right.
Guys,
You just saved lives by cheating.
And
Good
then
job.
he went to the game master afterwards, and he's like, "What was the last clue?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, it was this number right here." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Right. Oh yeah, that's what it was. That's what we used.
I didn't know. Yeah, so
right.
We had the right number. We just didn't know that that's what it was for. I think it was like an earlier clue that we like set off to the side to come back to.
Right.
But I don't know. I do like when they're more in order too. Like, I hate when it's like, okay, here's 3 clues, and then you got to figure them out one at a time, and then like come back to a clue that you found like 20 minutes ago.
Right.
I like it when it's in order. Like, okay, here's the one clue that we found. This is the one thing that it goes to, and on to the next thing. Like, so it's one thing at a time.
Right.
But
yeah,
it's
that
very
makes
immersive
sense.
experience.
For the ones that you have accomplished, do they have like prizes? Because I've seen like a few places that like give you a T-shirt saying like, you know, I escaped or whatever. Have you ever gotten anything for getting through one?
No.
No?
It's always been like, well, no matter what, like they always like to take your picture when you come out of the room. And a lot of times the ones, they'll have like different signs to hold up in the picture that'll either say like, I won, or like, darn, we were so close, or like we lost, or just kind of for the theme of the pictures and stuff. And a couple I've been to have had T-shirts for sale. Like if you wanted to buy a shirt, you could.
Right.
But I've never been like, cool, you got out of the room, here's a free T-shirt. Like that's never happened.
Okay, I was just curious as to if they ever give you anything for getting through one.
A lot of times, they'll have like certain lounges will have like complimentary like snacks, or like they'll have a cooler of a couple drinks and some water and stuff to like while you're hanging out in the lounge before it's time to go in, or on your way out the door, they'll be like, here, have a water for surviving in a room for an hour, and maybe a Snickers bar or something. Kind of thing.
Here's a sucker. Good job.
Good job, sucker.
Yeah. Ha-ha. So my experience with the escape room was pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to going back to, what was it, Bad Moon Rising? I think I'll probably check out next.
Yeah. I was worried. He said that one was spookier than this first one. I was like, oh man, this one was already pretty spooky.
Right?
Like, it gets worse. Like, please no.
Oh, come on, dude. But yeah, I'll probably be checking that out here within the next month, I think.
I definitely think, and the one that I was trying to, like, was going to tell you about, there was a Saw-themed escape room that I did. I'm pretty sure that one's gone now.
Was that the one in Bay City you were talking about?
No, that one's in Saginaw, too.
Okay.
Just a different location.
Gotcha.
But they had, can I spoil it? Yeah, I guess the room's gone now. But, like, they had...
Well, are you sure it's gone?
Let me double check.
Yeah, make sure it's gone before you spoil it, because that would be fun.
On. Yeah, because that would, yeah.
Yeah, so while he's looking that up, I'll just kind of bring this to a conclusion. I definitely enjoyed an escape room. I will be going back as soon as I can. I think it's still like an untapped entertainment resource. Like, people know they're there, and I don't know if everybody's just like me and they're cheap, or they're, I don't know if they're scared to try it or what, but definitely if you guys haven't tried an escape room, go check one out. Grab a couple friends, grab a couple coworkers, book yourself a room and go check it out. It's definitely worth it. Like I said, for $25, it's what you're gonna spend if you go bowling or go out to eat or whatever. So definitely check it out. You got to use your brain, which is something that doesn't happen very often nowadays. And you get to hang out with your friends and pick on each other and drop penises on the back of vehicles and whatnot.
Good times. Went to work the next morning and I was like, oh. Yeah, I don't see it on here anymore. But anyway, there was a Saw escape room. There we go. And like there was a person like in the room. And part of the clue was like, okay, this person is shackled to a wall and you have to help them escape this room also, because the Saw person, what's his name?
Jigsaw.
Yeah, Jigsaw comes into the room with a chainsaw at the end, and he like walks towards you while you're like getting out of the last room, and he's got this chainsaw, and it's like freaking you the fuck out. And it's like, no thanks, not. And then like as soon as he was in the room, I immediately like I stopped helping.
Jesus.
I was
Christ.
like, I'm hiding behind the closest person. Like I'm not helpful at all. Just get me the fuck out of here. Like.
That sounds like it would have been fun, though, man. That sounds...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I almost pissed myself in that. But no, like, the last clue, like, usually, like, to get out of the room, it's, you turn the doorknob and you open the door.
Mm-hmm.
But the last clue in that one, like, there was, like, it was bolted, and you got bolt cutters, and you had to actually cut the lock to get out of the room.
Really?
And, like, we didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
So we're standing here at the end like, oh, we got some bolt cutters. Like, okay, well, we got to figure out there's got to be obviously, like, a combination for this lock or something, because, like, you don't want to damage the lock because that's their property and stuff. But, like, by the door, there's just a bunch of locks on the floor. So it was like, oh, well, obviously everyone's just bolt cutting their way out of the door. And, like, it was a really neat experience. And
yes.
I think they have a new one
beforehand?
that's not...
Whoop, go ahead.
They have a different one there now. I think it's called Immersive X. Which I'm assuming is probably going to be a similar experience where there's someone in the room and that kind of stuff.
Right.
I would assume, which, no thanks.
I'll have to check it out, and then that's going to be the next one we go to.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah. So, like, beforehand, though, they didn't, like, tell you, okay, well, at some point you might have to, like, destroy some property or something. Like, they didn't let you know ahead of time at all?
Nope, we didn't know that, and we also didn't know that Jigsaw was going to come into the room either.
Right. Well, that part's understandable. I mean, that's going to be your big pop.
Yeah, like most of the time now, I think because like how we had it set up when we registered for ours was there's the immersive version, which like that means that the killer is going to be in the room. So like you know what you're paying for, you're going to get the person in the room. Whereas the one that we did, we had no idea.
Right. Scared
the shit out of me. I was like, I'm not helping anymore. I'm done. I'm going home. See you later.
That's awesome.
But it's definitely it scares. Like it's good to have a theme.
Yes.
Like Saw, or how we had the spooky guy with the killer, like instead of just going into a room and here's some locks. And
yeah.
Because when we did, I think it was like a library, and it was like, here's all these books, and there's clues in the books, and you get the key and you unlock the door.
Yeah, there was like that sounds boring to me.
Yeah, where it's like, and there's a theme, and it's gonna scare the crap out of you, and it's like your life's at stake. Like, oh.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even have to be that, but I want a theme that is going to put you in the scenario. Like I think that's the experience, is being part of whatever you're doing. Like I don't want to be in a library or a classroom. Like that's.
Yeah. Well, and the difference too between like the Saw one, I've never seen. I've seen like the newest one, Jigsaw, or one of them, but I haven't seen like all of the Saw movies.
You never seen the original?
No, I've never seen Saw.
Oh my fucking god, dude!
I'm sorry, but like the difference between like that and then the Killer's Revenge one that we did is like if I've never seen Saw, like there's gonna be references to Saw in this escape room that I'm not gonna understand.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to like the Killer's Promise, it's a generic serial killer, so you don't have to have any knowledge going into the room of, like you don't have to have seen the movie Saw to understand.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which like it wasn't like knowing Saw got us out of the room.
Right.
But like the theme was still there, and obviously Jigsaw was in there and scared the shit out of me.
Right. So yeah, go check out an escape room near you guys.
Pay some money, pay up. It's a good time.
Yeah, they're further from me than they are from Zan. Zan's got a couple of them down there, so that's probably where we'll hit up our next one. So what we're gonna talk? Let's talk a little bit of some professional wrestling, Xander.
Ooh, professional wrestling. I watch that sometimes.
Yeah, Super Showdown's going on right now at this very moment, and I want to take a second to shit on Undertaker making his surprise quote-unquote return.
Spoilers.
Yeah, by the time this goes out, if they watch wrestling, they'll know what's going on. But,
right. Oh, yeah, by this point, yeah.
We don't need Undertaker. Like, I loved Undertaker up until what was supposed to be or should have been his retirement match.
Oh yeah, when you put the hat and the thing down, and I was like, "Yep, that's it."
Yeah, like that's how you go out, man. He walked away with all his shit in the ring. That visual was fucking amazing. Like that's all he needed. And he came out at Super Showdown and chokeslammed AJ Styles. The chokeslam looked like shit.
Oh my god, it looked awful. I didn't know if it almost looked like he dropped him like on his own knee or something, because when he went to stand back up, he kind of was shaken up a little bit.
I think his knees are just fucked up, dude. He's
an old dude. Yeah.
Yeah, he's old, man, and those taller guys and shit, and he's been wrestling for 50 years. Your bones and joints are toast. So he chokeslams AJ, one chokeslam. Pins AJ 1, 2, 3 to become the whatever fucking
the mountain blah blah blah.
Yeah, Gauntlet Saudi Arabia.
The prestigious mountain and
whatever the fuck it was.
They said the word prestigious like 80 times.
Yeah. Main issue is you just made AJ Styles look like a fucking pansy. He took one choke slam from a 65-year-old has-been and laid down for the 3 count. Like, I get it. Supposedly, you're building towards a match at WrestleMania that I don't need to see. Like, that 2 seconds of him choke slamming AJ was all I needed to see to know that I don't need to see Undertaker work another fucking match.
No. Well, and like that's what I'm worried about with like what is it, Goldberg and Bray Wyatt, which I haven't seen yet. Like,
no, it hasn't.
I'm worried about that because obviously for the people listening, it's already happened. And hey, sound off in the comments. How bad was it or whatever? But like he after what was it, Goldberg and Lesnar, when like Goldberg got hurt or something and like he could barely work.
That was Goldberg Taker, man.
That was Goldberg Take. That's right, because he got dropped on his head. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, it was so bad.
And it's like, God, Taker shouldn't be working anymore. Goldberg should not be working anymore. They've had their time, and
I have less of an issue with Goldberg working than I do Undertaker, and I don't know if it's because the Undertaker has been around, much longer than Goldberg, because Goldberg was away from the business for quite a while, and he was never amazing anyway, so you don't expect a lot out of him. You expect, a fucking spear and a jackhammer and it's over.
That's it, yeah.
But from Undertaker, you're expecting old school and fucking tombstones and choke slams and shit he just can't do anymore.
Right.
So
they had the opportunity because they already gave him his send off and they keep bringing him back, and kind of makes you wonder if it's like Undertaker saying like, yeah, I can go one more, or if it's Vince saying like, "Hey, come on, pal.
Here's some money.
Saudi Arabia. Here's $50. Come on.
Here's $50,000, pal. Let's go." It's
such good shit.
Such good shit. Listen, Mark, it's such good shit. But
I would hope it's not Undertaker saying, "Yeah, I can keep going," because obviously he can't.
But don't you think that at some point his pride would have been like, you know what? I can't do this. No amount of money you give me is going to make me want to go and tarnish my legacy. But like at this point, it makes you think he doesn't give a shit. He's all about the money, because he has to know that what he's putting out is garbage.
Oh yeah, I mean, and the crowd eats it up still. Like the crowd went nuts for his choke slam, and
which I don't. Well, they are in Saudi Arabia too, so they they don't get to see that shit live.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't need to see AJ Styles versus The Undertaker. 15 years ago,
I was like,
yes,
15,
please.
20 years ago when AJ's in his prime, when
Yeah,
Undertaker's
fucking TNA
not
AJ
dead
versus fucking Ministry of Darkness Undertaker.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
take my fucking money, dude. But I don't need to see 78-year-old Undertaker versus AJ Styles, who one of the best workers in professional wrestling the last 15 years, is not going to be able to carry The Undertaker in a good match.
No.
What is he can sell the fucking shit out of anything Undertaker does, and it's still gonna look bad.
Right. AJ would definitely have to carry it because,
Yeah.
I mean, Taker can go for so long. I think I've read, like, that Undertaker takes, like, he's got, like, shots or something that he, like, puts in his legs that, like, help him work a solid 20-minute match, and then, like, it wears off, then he's got to limp around.
Yeah.
It's rough. Like, he needs to call it, and Vince needs to let him, I don't want to say let him die because he's a dead man,
Right.
but, like, let it, like, he had his send-off, he put the ring, like, the hat in the ring, like, his career is over, but he's still doing the thing, and it's like, stop it.
Yeah.
Dang it.
The same thing with Ric Flair, though. Fuck Ric Flair. Like, he had a fucking Monday Night Raw dedicated to his retirement, and what was it, like 6 months later, he fucking pops up on TNA? Like,
Yeah, he showed up in TNA and wrestled Hulk Hogan, and they started bleeding after, like, a punch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god.
Never liked Ric Flair, and then just I understand, like, if you need to do, he needs money because he has fucking lawsuits and whatever the fucking else he has going on. If you need the money, I understand it, but I really don't think Undertaker needs the money, so I don't know why he sticks around like he does.
No, he's definitely obviously kayfabe. You know,
Oh shit! Oh, sorry.
he's What? Oh, you're watching it?
Yeah. Who is that? Who's the one dude that won the big tournament last year in Saudi Arabia? I can't think of his name. I'm pretty sure he's Saudi. He just hit a moonsault on Ziggler, and his like legs crashed across Ziggler's abdomen, and it looked really bad. So anyways, yeah, Ziggler just jobbed out for the millionth time.
I saw this video on Facebook this morning of these guys in a Walmart.
Oh, I seen that like a long time ago. Yeah, that's good shit.
He did like a super kick and then
Yeah.
he did like this double moonsault
Spanish
thing
fly.
off the table. I was like, oh my god, like what are you doing in a Walmart? Like that was entertaining.
I'd love to.
Oh, God.
I'd love to see that. But yeah,
Shoot,
so
what were we just talking about?
basically,
Yeah, Undertaker needs to retire. I would love to
Yeah.
see Undertaker versus Sting, but that's not gonna happen.
do you want to see it though?
Not
Like,
now.
Yeah, you wanted to see it 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things where like, because the two of them never crossed paths, and it would have been like,
There's-
oh, that would have been so cool.
It's cool to want dream matches, but you can't have dream matches now that you wanted 15 years ago. Just because they can
Right.
happen now doesn't mean they should.
Undertaker's gonna be rolling down the ring in a wheelchair.
Exactly.
Stand up and like, oh, let's go.
Jesus
One
Christ.
punch. Pin.
He-
Yeah, one. Sit back down in the wheelchair.
He'd get down to the ring fucking quicker if he was in a wheelchair.
Right? Or like his motorcycle.
Yeah.
A little wheelchair motorcycle thing.
So yeah, that happened on Showdown.
Some wrestling.
Don't care. Yeah,
I
wrestling.
kind of wish that they would stop. Like, it was nice when they had. What was the first Saudi show called?
Crown
it wasn't
Jewel.
Super Showdown. Yeah, Crown. Like, it'd be nice if they kept doing different names, I guess.
Right.
Because like Super Showdown was the Australian show.
Was it?
Yeah, it was because they did Crown Jewel and then they did Super Showdown. And then when they went back to Saudi, they just used the Super Showdown name, which was the Aussie show.
Oh,
And it was
really?
like they obviously like the Super Showdown name because they've had like 3 Super Showdowns now.
I didn't even realize that. I thought the Super Showdown was just the Saudi name that they ended up going with.
No, yeah, I don't know. It's all over the place. I just work here.
Right. Yeah, so that's enough talk about WWE. I haven't kept up with the product. I just watched the
No,
pay-per-views and whatnot.
Yeah, I canceled my network subscription, and then I got it back. I think for the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
And then I keep meaning to cancel it again, but I think I just got charged for it yesterday. So I'm like, well,
That's kind of what I do too. I remember I pretty sure on one of the podcasts I said how I had canceled it because it was trash, and then like there's a big pay-per-view coming up, so okay, I'll get it for the month, and then you just don't cancel it because it's only $10, and yeah, so
like
whatever.
I feel like you definitely get your money's worth if you're only watching the pay-per-views. But
Yeah.
there's so much content on there, and I just don't follow the product enough to like care enough to go back and watch the older stuff either. Like even though the older stuff's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, I just don't like I watched Edge and Christian, I watched that Swerved show they did, I tried watching that Camp WWE thing, that cartoon show.
Yeah, when it first came out, man, they had a lot of stuff slated that like was gonna be awesome, and it
Legends
really,
House and
yeah, like I was stoked to see all like the Legends House and all the Legends. It's just they didn't do a good job at anything that they had fucking put together.
Right. Yeah, and like I don't watch anything on the network unless hey the pay-per-view's on. Like I found out yesterday or 2 days ago. Oh, the Super Showdown's today. Like oh, I guess I'll tune in. I'm not working, and before we whip about this podcast, I'll turn it on real quick. And
right.
I had it on, and I was like, oh okay, yep, this is.
That's like once in a while I'll be like, oh man, fucking I remember this match, and I'll turn it on, and it's cool that if you want to watch a match, like you can just go on the network and fucking like the other day I was watching Ricky Steamboat versus Chris Jericho because like it popped into my head how fucking good Steamboat looked against Jericho, and Steamboat hadn't wrestled in fucking 30 years, and he was like 60, and he was just so good. So like I was able just to search it out and watch it. But now that they've taken Takeover or NXT off of the network,
is it off completely now?
Well, no, it's on, but you can't watch it live.
I got you. Okay, that's what I thought.
That was one of the main reasons I kept it. It's because NXT was good shit. It's good shit. But now it's on TV, and I don't have TV, so I can't watch NXT. So that's.
Do they do it? Does it go on the network like the next day? Or
I honestly haven't even checked. I'm not sure.
Because I think they put the Raw and the SmackDowns onto the network, but I think that's usually like a month later.
Yeah, that's way behind.
And
which
it's
is
like,
stupid.
well, by then I've already seen it. I don't care to look for it on the network. And
yeah, I keep up with
really
What Culture and Cultaholic. That's how I keep up with the product, basically, is I watch that stuff. But we are talking about old stuff on the network. So SE Rocks has an opportunity that may have arisen. I'm not going to drop any huge details, but for you smart marks out there who like to listen to podcasts, you might be hearing SE Rocks on a podcast becoming a co-host. It's I have an audition, guys, so that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be some retro wrestling talk, I guess. So look forward.
Rox likes retro.
Yeah, Rox does like retro. That's why I was like, hey, that's me. I fit that. Let's do this.
Speaking of SE Rock, you should subscribe to Blank Canvas Entertainment on the YouTubes.
For you guys that are still listening 46 minutes into our escape room talk and pro wrestling.
If you need T-shirts or vinyl stickers, Blank Canvas Design is also quite fantastical. They do some great stuff on the interwebs. If
I hear
some
that
T-shirts
as well.
And
some shameless promotion. Why not?
So he's got some fancy designs, and he makes like posters, and he makes T-shirts, and he's pretty cool. And
thanks.
I like rocking his logo T-shirt.
Yeah,
it's quite the logo. I've got his sticker on my camera case. It's a good time.
Good. Yeah,
got to keep rocking,
I think he still has some of those decals. So any of you guys out there want the Outcast SE Rocks decal, get a hold of me, man. I'll shoot you one for like $5. So AEW, what's going on with AEW, man?
I don't know. I forgot to watch it last time.
I know. I'm honestly so far behind on like all my wrestling because I don't
DVR
have
every
live
single
TV.
one of them, and like I think the last one that I watched was their Bash at the Beach thing. So like if that tells you anything, it's been about a month.
Yeah,
I keep meaning to watch it. They keep having me work on Wednesday nights, and I don't remember. Oh, I'm gonna go home and watch it on my DVR now. I get home from work and I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. I basically the only thing that I've seen is I watched the I almost said Jericho again, the Cody Rhodes steel cage match with Wardlow. It looked fucking phenomenal. It was like an old school fucking cage match where you weren't allowed to escape. Like they have fucking, hey, look, that kind of played into the escape room things.
Aha! Wow.
It was like old school, like 80s steel cage matches. There was no escape. You don't get to go over or go through the door. Like the cage was there to contain the rivalry, like, oh, these guys are going to beat the living shit out of each other inside this cage. It's going to be amazing.
I did like for the design of the cage, how the cage did go all the way down to the floor also.
Yes.
Instead of it just ending at the ring or at the mat. Yeah, that's the word. The apron. That's the one.
The apron. Yeah.
Where that's it. It ends on the apron, and like, well, if the bottom of the cage gives out, you could totally slide out from underneath still. Not that you'd want to, but
yeah,
like it looked really cool. I haven't actually watched that match all the way through, but I've seen like little clips of it and like his moonsault off the top of the cage, and I'm like, oh my god, this is nuts.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna get at. Is that moonsault was fucking poetry in motion. Like he may have barely hit Wardlow, but like he didn't need to fucking hit it all. Like he just
it was cool.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
How tall was the cage? Was it just like 20 feet tall like they always are? Did they
I would
say
assume
or
so.
anything? Or I don't know if they said or made a point of like, it's this 50-foot tall.
Oh, if it was WWE,
thing.
they would have. It would have been every 2 seconds.
Every 2 seconds. By the way, did we forget to mention that this cage is 15 feet tall, by the way, Network 999?
Right? Yeah, terrible.
The prestigious trophy.
Yeah, the prestigious
By the way, did we
trophy.
mention it's prestigious?
Fucking Jesus. Oh, I was going to say something else about Goldberg and Bray Wyatt, too. But if Goldberg beats Bray Wyatt at Super Showdown, I'm going to riot.
I did see a sign in the crowd when they first started. I saw a sign in the crowd that said that if Goldberg wins, we riot.
Yeah.
Wins. Goldberg wins. Words are hard.
Yeah, words are hard. I agree with that statement.
Aha!
Haha! Yeah, so I'm unable to keep up with wrestling much, so there's not a whole lot to talk about on that front.
Adam Blumpy is back on the internet.
Yeah,
that's a thing. That's
he
cool.
is. I watched the first. People out there are gonna have any fucking idea what we're talking about, but yeah, it was cool seeing him back. Wrestle Talk's what he's with now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I don't watch too much of, but every once in a while, if there's a neat, if they clickbait me in with their headline, I'll check it out.
Right. Yeah.
I hate clickbait. That's a
a lot of indie wrestling in Michigan. Like I've said before, XICW is going to be on Fight TV, which is like
really?
a huge thing. Yeah, man. Their next pay-per-view is
cool.
going to be on Fight TV. Mikey Zero is going to be commentating that show, which I'm kind of, not going to lie, I'm kind of jealous that he gets to fucking commentate that.
You know who else is a really good commentator?
Who's that,
SC
Xander?
Rocks.
SC Rocks, yeah.
My
I've
good
heard-
pal SC Rocks.
I've heard him before. Yeah, he does
a cool dude, you know.
he does decent stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess that's really all I have. I thought we were gonna be able to go a little bit further into some other stuff, but there's not a whole lot going on.
I cheated at game night.
What's that?
I
Oh
cheated
yeah,
at
you're
game night.
cheating at game night. Thanks for the reminder. So we had a game night last week, and we were playing Code Names, which is a really fun game. Again, it makes you use your brain, and you have to think. You have to connect words together without using other words on the board or words that will give your opponent points or cards or whatever you're collecting. And Xander fucking cheated because he can't stay off his phone.
Well, so the clue that I wanted, like, there was a bunch of different shapes as the clues on the board, and I was like, all of these shapes are in this old board game I used to play, but I couldn't remember the name of the game. So I Google searched that board game, and I found out the name of the game, so I used the name of the game as my clue, and they still couldn't figure it out. And I was like, damn it.
I don't know if you
tried.
just weren't on that night or what, but you were given some terrible clues, man. It was fucking rough.
I think I was, because I know, like, the last time I played it, I feel like I was really good at, like, I got these 3 words together, like, I got a word, and I was able to get them together just fine. I don't know if it was maybe the layout on the board or the shuffle just wasn't in my favor this time,
Right.
but, like, it was rough. Like, I like the game, because I have it, too, and it's really fun, and I like playing it, because it makes you use your brain and stuff, and,
Yeah.
like, trying to connect these words, and it's a really fun game. It's just, oh, God, when the words don't make sense, trying to mix them together,
Right.
and, like, if we don't all have the same inside joke, like if I tried to use a SpongeBob reference as my clue, and I'm the only one of the 6 of us there that watches SpongeBob,
Yeah, you're pretty
like,
much
obviously
toast.
I would understand it, and if I'm playing with other people, like, then that's fine. But since, like, I was like, well, I don't have anything, or I think what I tried to use Lil Dre as one of the clues,
Yeah.
and I said 2. And the one word made sense, but the other one had nothing to do with it at all. But I was like, that's a stretch if you understand that he does wrestling and triangle, hold, and wrestling. Like,
That's
that'll
like
make
the one
sense
I
when say
did. Like,
Draven. Yeah.
really, you're putting all your hope in your teammates that they'll, be on the
they
same
understand.
wavelength. Because I had
Yeah.
foot, and I was going for ball and lion on the board. Because if you put foot and ball together, hopefully you'll think of the lions. Well,
Right.
it didn't work that way. They got ball, but they didn't get lion. So
I think there was one that he was trying to, because at the time he and I were giving the clues for our teams, I think, and he was like trying to ask me, like, can I use this word as a clue? And I think, like, the word was ball that he was trying to get, and I think his clue was going to be like basketball.
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And it was like, you can't say basketball because one of your words on the board is ball, unless obviously that's not the word you're looking for.
Right.
But it was like, it's in that aspect, it's really hard to, like, hey, can I use this as my clue? Because then it kind of gives it away of, like, well,
Right.
obviously that's, so, like, it's kind of one of those things where you have to be on point with the rules and not cheat like I did that one time. And
Yeah, that one time. Yeah. definitely.
It is a fun game, and we'll definitely have to do it again. They do have more than one version of that game too. Like,
I was gonna get another
Disney
one, but the reviews are terrible. Like on the picture one, the reviews were horrible.
I feel like that one will be hard too.
Yeah, because
like,
the pictures
it's
are
easy to
stupid,
come up with
dude.
things for words, but like, how do you match like pictures together?
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it looked really hard, but and then
there's
there's
a
like a Disney one,
Yeah.
and I don't know.
There's
I'm
like
good
the
with
rated
the one
X version or whatever. That's like the inappropriate version of the normal game or whatever, where it's got boobies on the board, and I'm like, ooh, those are fun.
Yeah. It's definitely like my favorite new game. Like I played it down at my buddy Kyle and Leslie's house the weekend of Astronomicon. I was like, okay, I have to buy this, and ew. Cat's ears all messed up. But
what did you think of? What did you meme?
It's fun the first time. Like I didn't expect to like it because I'm not a huge meme guy. And oh Jesus Christ, Lesnar's killing Ricochet. But anyway,
of course
it was fun the first time, but then like the second time it wasn't as fun because like you've already used everything.
Yeah, I feel like shuffling the old cards back in was a bad idea because like half of my hand was like I've already seen all of these and it's not as funny when you've already heard this clue. But it's like if there's only so many cards to go through, then
right. Yeah, it would definitely be a game that would benefit from like a huge stack of cards.
Right, like I have Cards Against Humanity, and I have most of the expansion packs for it. So like almost every time you play Cards Against Humanity, like you're almost guaranteed to get a card you've never seen before because there's just so many expansion packs.
Right.
And like they have different themed expansion packs. Like we went to Target one time and they had a special Target themed expansion pack of just cards that relate to Target for some reason.
Christ. That's like, okay, we're in an era where board games have fucking expansion packs. Can you imagine playing Monopoly and then like, well, you have to buy an expansion pack to get the thimble or whatever? Like, what the fuck, man? Mm-hmm. What the hell are things coming to?
Fortnite Monopoly?
Yeah, I can't believe you fucking bought that, dude.
I know. I haven't opened it yet still.
Yeah.
But I have. It's on the shelf. So.
Yeah, cool. Maybe
Speaking of on the shelf, I think that's a show that's available on the Blank Canvas Entertainment YouTube channel. Subscribe.
Segues, yes. What, off the shelf? Is that what I had called it?
From
the shelf. Yeah, I think it's from the shelf. I don't know. One of those are going to be coming up here in about a week and a half. We got another from the shelf or off the shelf coming up. So.
Because Roxy's got a new tripod.
Yeah, thanks to Xandan the Plant Man. But
wow.
Yeah, so I think that's all we got to run through, man. We talked escape rooms, talked a little wrestling.
I was trying to find a Fortnite-themed escape room by Google searching it, but all I could find was escape rooms built into Fortnite creative mode, and I was like, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an escape room based on Fortnite,
oh, shit.
not an escape room.
Well, Lesnar won, and I missed it.
God damn. See, I kind of figured that was going to happen.
Oh, I knew he was going to win, but
like Ricochet, like he's the underdog, but like, yeah, you know.
Fucking terrible, man. Okay, so anyway, yeah, thanks for checking us out. 3D Dudes, Drinks, and Discussion. As always, I am SE Rox, joined by the prestigious
Xandan the Plant Man.
Yeah, Xander, Xandan the Plant Man. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, and as always, keep rocking.
Stay crispy.